Hi, welcome back to The Next Move with Valetax. My name is Innocent Ifere, educator for Africa and trading content specialist here at Valetax. On this week's market outlook, we're going to be exploring trade ideas and also analyzing the fundamentals that could be influencing the market ahead of the week. But as always, before we get started for the week, let's do a quick recap of the trade ideas from last week. On last week's trade ideas, we saw a potential sells to buy on the XAUSD and a possible continuation for the buys on the GBPUSD. Although the sells on the XAUSD was speculated to pull back to the 3422 levels before a continuation on the buy side, we did see a small correction happen on the XAUSD before a huge impulsive continuation last week to create a new all-time high at the 3600 levels for XAUSD. On the GBPUSD, we see prices sell off hard on Tuesday before prices eventually started to reverse to the upside for the buys as expected. Although prices have not been able to take out the previous resistance that was speculated for a possible target, we see prices clinching just around that level. And moving on for this week's outlook, we're going to be sharing trade ideas on the XAUSD and the EURUSD. And coming from previous weeks, we see the XAUSD remaining extremely bullish on the higher time frames without any sign or point of exhaustion. But when we scale to the lower time frame, we see that the market closed last week after the NFP reports with a bad job reports for the USD. But we see the market close with a bearish candle, signaling a possible correction to lower levels, such as the 3,560 levels. We expect to see a correction to these levels for a continuation of the boost to the upside for the XAUSD. And for the EURUSD for this week, we see the higher time frame key level support area at the 1.16 thousand holding in place and buyers taking positions as well. Although we might see a possible correction very short term ahead of the week, the overall sentiment of the EURUSD still remains a buy side with a possible liquidity pool right above the 1.1834 thousand levels. But as always, technical analysis alone doesn't just show us the direction of the market, but of course confluences with fundamentals are important. And for the coming week, here are the possible fundamentals to watch out for. On Wednesday this week, we have the PPI for the USD, and on Thursday, we have the CPI for the USD and the monetary policy statement and interest rate decision for the Eurozone on Thursday as well. And those are the fundamentals that could create a shift or bring in a huge impulsive moves in the market for this week. The summary for this week trade ideas is a possible continuation of buy sides to create new highs on the XAUSD and a short-term sell for corrections on the EURUSD and a continuation of the buy sides for the EURUSD. And as well, it all depends on how well the fundamentals align with our technicals to see these moves happen. This is not a trading signal, but only a trade idea with no guarantee for success. Remember to always do your own research and apply risk management to every trade that you take in the market. I'll see you same place, same time next week on The Next Move with Valetax.